The Snake River is one of the largest rivers in the Pacific Northwest and is the largest river to feed into the Columbia. Like other major rivers, the Snake is no stranger to dams, but these dams have caused a decline in the number of salmon making it to their spawning grounds in Idaho.
Since the 1950s, fisheries scientists have monitored salmon numbers decline in the Snake River. However, many scientists believe that by removing 4 of the lower Snake River dams, the rate of survival for these salmon would increase greatly. On the other hand, many people wonder if it will be possible to replace these dams' power with the power made by clean energy. Although there isn't a permanent solution to this problem yet, there are many developing sources of energy that could eventually replace our current energy sources completely, such as biomass and wind power. So why would anyone want their tax dollars to go to removing these dams? Because the fact of the matter is that federal agencies have dumped more than $8 billion into failed attempts to restore the Columbia and Snake River salmon, and it would be much more cost effective to just remove these dams altogether. In fact, if the dams were to stay in place and the salmon were to go extinct, American taxpayers would be liable for up to tens of billions of dollars in compensation to treaty Indian tribes and to Canada. The pros easily outweigh the cons in this debate. If we keep the dams, we waste millions of taxpayer dollars and potentially force wild salmon into extinction. On the other hand, if we remove the dams, we increase the number of wild salmon that make it to Idaho, save taxpayer dollars, and bring in millions of dollars in economic activity to the state of Idaho. We don't have very much time. Salmon return percentages continue to go down year after year, and something needs to be done right now. Although there are plenty of conservation efforts as well as attempts by federal agencies to keep these salmon from disappearing altogether, the only true cost-effective solution to this problem is to remove the lower Snake River dams altogether in order to achieve normal salmon returns. The dams that would need to be removed are the Ice Harbor, Lower Monumental, Little Goose, and Lower Granite dams. When these dams are operating at peak power loads or full capacity, they generate approximately 3,033 megawatts of electricity combined, which is a substantial amount of energy to be lost if the dams are removed. However, with an investment into sustainable energy on top of the advancing technologies we already have, there shouldn't be a problem finding a way to make up for this lost power using clean, sustainable energy that will not impede the salmon from swimming to their native spawning grounds. As if the fact that these dams are causing salmon to slowly die off wasn't enough, they also pose a great threat to the people living around them. The dams located on the Snake River are all run-of-river dams, which means that they are not designed to store water in the reservoirs created behind them. This means that water levels can only rise a few feet before there is a chance of a flood occurring that would have devastating effects on surrounding agricultural areas as well as residential areas. To make matters worse, millions of cubic yards of sediment pass down the river each year and pile up at the base of the dam, making the reservoir even more shallow and prone to flooding. This requires government spending of even more tax dollars to remove this sediment annually. All in all, dams along the lower Snake River have to go. They are threatening the existence of beautiful salmon that were living here long before us, as well as causing us ridiculous amounts of money and endangering the lives of those who live below these dams. If there is going to be a decision made, it needs to be made sooner rather than later, because the salmon are running out of time.